Good morning, it's your crazy old coot here. How you been doing, huh? Been fine? I've been doing okay. Now did you get off my lawn? So today I'm going to be going over data that I've accumulated. My miles and miles of data, pretty data of your forefathers' fruit. And now to suit our great computer, your magnetic ink. Ryzen. It's a known fact that the faster your RAM speed, the better your performance is. And now that I've got my cooler and I can ramp up my clock speeds and stuff, and they kind of fixed everything, or it's a lot better on the memory wise, I decided to run some tests and see how this goes, and how much of a performance boost you get depending on what frequency you run. So time for the charts. Okay, so this is our first chart, and this is a chart I did at my Ryzen R5 1600 was clocked at 3.3 gigahertz on all cores. Okay, now the first bar is the time spy score with the memory set at 2133. Okay, the second bar here is with the memory at 2666, and the last bar, number 3, is with the memory clocked at 2933. Okay, so you can do the math or you can listen to me. So basically from 2133 to 2666, it's about a 7% jump. Okay, but from 2666 to 2933, and I realize that it's not quite the same gap, but it's only a 2.6% increase. So there is a diminishing return. I'm sure at 32 the rate, it's going to curl over. So those people who think that at 3600 memory speed you're going to be equal to an i7 7700K, I don't think so. Okay, so the difference between 2133 and 2933 though is significant. It's about 10% at this speed at 3.3 gigahertz. Now this is using time spy score. And the reason I'm using time spy score is because I used two other tests. I used the CPU benchmark test, and the only reason I used that was because I was using CPU-Z to make sure that my changes had taken place. And I used Cinebench. And in CPU-Z bench, it didn't matter. It was a wash. It didn't matter what speed your memory was set up. It only mattered your clock speed. And with Cinebench, it was maybe like a 1% change between 2133 and 2933. So it's like these two tests are worthless. And so I just went with the Time Spy, because the Time Spy benchmark definitely showed an impact on memory speed. Okay, so next comes I did the same test again at 3.8 gigahertz. So here's the 3.8 gigahertz chart. Okay, again, the first column is at 2133, the second column is at 2666, and the third column is 2933 memory speeds. Okay, so quick back of the envelope math. The difference between 1 and 2 is about 8.8%. Okay, so going from 2133 to 2666 is almost a 9% jump in performance. And going from 2666 to 2933 is about a 2.75% increase in performance. Okay? So from going from 2133 to 2933, it is an 11.8% performance increase. That's almost 12% difference by just upping your memory speed. So, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus, and it's memory speed. I mean, to get almost a 12% increase in performance by just going from 2133 to 2933, that's free performance. So, we have one more graph to show you. So this final graph is just about performance, baby. It's all at 2933 memory speed. And it's time SPY score again. So in column 1 is the time SPY score at 3.3 gigahertz on all cores at 2933. The second column is your stock configuration. That's out of the box. That's 3.2 gigahertz base and a 3.6 turbo boost. And then the last column is at 3.8 gigahertz on all cores. And it was a little surprising because when I did this, I kind of figured that we would see about the same scores or so between column 1 and 2, because you're only turboing one core here on the stock configuration. So from the percent difference between 3.3 gigahertz all and your stock configuration is 2%, okay? And going from stock to 3.8 is about a 9%. So, out of the box, Ryzen 5 1600 to 3.8 gigahertz on all cores, you're getting a 9% boost in performance. And that is free. And you can do 3.8 gigahertz easy. You're not going to be stressing it. You don't have to push the voltages. At 3.8, you're going to want at least a decent cooler because you're going to be pushing about 100 watts. And the stock cooler on the 1600 is 95. So, but that's under extreme load. So, yeah, you can get away with the Ryzen Wraith cooler that comes with the 1600 at 3.8 gigahertz. But don't do any stress testing because you'll get toasty, okay? Now, I've got the NHU 14S Noctia cooler. It doesn't, my CPU doesn't see 70 degrees, okay? So, 3.8, it's not going to hurt it at all. It's going to stay cool, and I'm not pushing voltages above recommended, okay? Now, to get above 3.8, you're going to have to start pushing, okay? And to me, the performance gain isn't worth it, okay? It's just not, to me. Now, some people, hey, I buy a CPU every 6 months if something goes wrong, fine. But me, I want this to last at least until Zen 2 comes out. Final conclusion times, okay? The performance gain is real, okay? Faster memory does net you higher performance, but it's not across the board. In simple tasks, I mean, even Cinebench didn't show a large increase in performance between 2133 and 2933, okay? It was like 1%. But Time Spy showed a good chunk of things. So I think this will translate into most games. Your more complex games with a lot of memory fetching in different spots, your Infinity Fabric speed is going to increase your performance. The faster your Infinity Fabric works, the faster it can get the data. Okay? The other thing I noticed, and I didn't know if you guys caught it, is the faster your clock speed, the more your performance gain was between 3.3 gigahertz, which gave almost a 10% increase, and at 3.8 gigahertz, you got almost a 12% increase in performance by increasing your memory speed from 2133 to 2933. Now, if you think about it, if you're doing faster clocks, that means you're doing more instructions, which means you need more data. And the faster you can access that data, the more increase your performance. So it's not just memory speed, it's also clock speed, where the higher your clock speed and the higher your memory speed is going to give you a good chunk of performance increase. So I just hadn't seen any hard data. You know, everyone said, yeah, faster your clock memory speed, the more performance, but no one had any data to back it up. And that's why I did these tests. So this is your crazy old coot here, wishing you a good evening.